Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Emily, aka the Petite Beauty Blogger, and in today's video I'll be doing a Frida Kahlo inspired makeup look using the Frida Kahlo Spectrum Collection. In this collection you get a cute little Frida Kahlo makeup bag which is so summery and fun. I love it. And you also get 7 cute brushes which is in this amazing packaging. So let's open it. You get these amazing brushes which are so adorable, and they've got the little Frida Kahlo faces on them, and they say on the back, "I am my own muse." She is fabulous. And I'll be doing a whole Frida Kahlo look inspired using these brushes alone because there's enough to do everything. So in the brush collection you get 7 different types of brushes. I like this one. It's like a stippling brush which is perfect, great for foundation. You get a fun big powdery brush, which I love brushes like this because you can really get right under. There is an angled contouring brush which is perfect here, whatever you like. There is a nice brow brush. I love these ones because they're nice and thin up there, and they also have that bit on the end, the spoolie. You get a fun little lip brush which is perfect. It's really small so you can really get into those angles. And then of course you have 2 eyeshadow brushes. In the collection you also get 2 beauty blenders, and they are super soft and amazing and squidgy, and you can tell when they're going to be in water they're going to expand to double their size, so they'll be amazing. One of my favourite things in the collection is this adorable kabuki brush. I mean, it looks pretty cute from the outside with her eyebrows and the red lip, but inside it's a flower, and I'm obsessed. I'm for sure going to take this in my bag everywhere, so if I have any oily things that I need to powder, that'll be perfect for that. First I'm going to start off with the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Primer, and I love this because it's perfect on my dry skin. So I'm going to do 1 and a bit pumps product, and then what I'll do is I'll warm it up in my hands. Then what I'll do is I'll spend time massaging it in, and it's perfect, and it really smooths out the skin, and I'm obsessed with it. I mean, I'm obsessed with the whole Fenty brand because I love Rihanna, but she's done well with her products. So I get that one massaged in, then I wait 2 minutes for it to sink into my skin. Using the Spectrum B01 brush, it's got that flat top. I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Foundation, and I'm going to use this brush to stiffen my foundation in and really massage it in. See how it goes. Oh my, and that's why I like Fenty Beauty so much. Oh yes, I like using brushes when I'm doing my foundation because I feel like I can blend it a bit better. I use small circular motions and blend it down, and it really helps blend. I know a lot of people like using brushes, but really you can use your fingers, you can use whatever technique you like as long as it works for you. Makeup has no rules, you can apply it however you like. I just prefer this because it's quick, easy, and I can really blend it down into my neck. And I find brushes a lot easier to use when you're in a rush, because I can quickly just go all the way around in a minute, and less than a minute, in about 30 seconds, and it's perfect. And I always blend up into my ears and round to the jaw here. Make sure it blends all the way down, because there's nothing more than having a line. So I spend extra time on my jawline, making sure it's all blended down, so nobody can say you haven't blended in your jawline, because that is the worst. I hate it, and it's really one of my pet peeves because I see loads of people do it all the time, and it takes less than 10 seconds just to take care of it, so you can do it. See? Perfect. I'm now going to conceal using my favourite concealer by Makeup Revolution. It's their Conceal and Define, and I'm going to blend it in with my beauty blender. So, this is my favourite. It's super creamy and it's very pigmented. I don't like to do too much because it'll be too much for my face, because my face isn't very large. So I make sure I go right up by the nose, so I can have that snatched nose. Do a tiny bit on the chin, do a tiny bit on the forehead, just like that, and then I'll do a tiny bit here, and of course up my nose like that. Now you can leave it a bit if you want it to be more full coverage. That's what I usually do. I usually leave my under eyes for the last second, so it's nice and full coverage. So I'll do the bottom. I'll just do really small patting motions. I don't like to swipe because that can take away the concealer, and it can also take away your foundation on the underneath, which I don't want to do. And here, it really helps blend it out. You can use, I sometimes use my finger to get rid of concealer, but that's a bit more time consuming. And you can use brushes for concealer, but I feel like for myself, concealer, the sponge helps it blend a bit more. And you can really use in the corner, getting into those little tiny spaces. Now this is a smaller one. I'm not a big fan on massive ones, just because my face isn't that large. So I like to be able to control it and get into really tiny spaces. Making sure you get right into that corner, especially if it goes in deep there. And we'll do it on the other side. And I'll blend it up. I'll always blend it right up into there and out. So you go down into that space again, making sure that it's all blended in everywhere and there's no missing bits. Because it's horrible when you set it and you've realised. Right up. Sometimes I like to stamp over my eye and then it blends all out, and then the concealer sometimes works as a primer for your eyeshadow. So you're saving money and product, which is what I love. I love a good save. I always bring excess and I bring it round here. And there we go. My face is still wet. I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Cream Kit, and I want it to blend right into my concealer and foundation here. And I'm going to use this one here using the Spectrum A05, which is the angled contouring brush. So I'm just going to dab it in here. I find sometimes contouring brushes and working with cream contour sometimes don't work that well, so you've got to make sure it's good. So I really dab it in. Oh, yep, this definitely works. If you know me, you know I like extreme. Bring it down here. I'll stamp it on first, and then I'll go back in with that sponge to really blend it out. I'm really content now, but once you blend it out and around, it will calm down. Make sure you get the forehead. It's all about your face shape, because a lot of people put contour here and I don't, because my forehead, well, I say forehead, is more of a two-head. I've got a really small forehead, so I don't close it up. With contour, I like to carve out my jawline, carve out my cheeks, cheekbones, and one thing I learned from watching the Tati Westbrook and Scott Barnes makeup video, I always do this now to really carve out those cheekbones, because it just gives it something different, and it may look a bit crazy, but we are going to blend it out. And what you can do, you don't have to do, I'll sometimes flatten it like that, and I go in like that if you haven't got a makeup brush spare. It's all about taking advantage of the products you've got. You can really do makeup with whatever. It's really up to your interpretation. If you like it, you like it. So I'm going to go back in with this brush. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this out into the rest of my face. I like to blend it down so I get an even colour story and it blends into my natural skin tone. So it doesn't look too fake or too harsh. I always make sure I blend it up here as well so it all blends together and nothing looks too harsh. Across the forehead, I blend it up into my hair, which probably isn't good, but it makes sure I get every single bit blended in and it doesn't look too crazy. And of course the nose. I'm not really into those harsh looking nose contours. I think some people look crazy. I like to make sure it's blended and fabulous. And I want to make sure it looks natural. Because one of my biggest pet peeves is people that do the two straight lines and they don't blend it properly. Oh, I hate it. From there, because I don't want it to be too matte, I'm going to do a light powdering of the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil powder using the Spectrum CO3 brush, and I'm just going to do a light covering all over the face. This isn't translucent, so if you've got a deeper skin tone I wouldn't suggest using it because it does have a bit of pigment in it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. And the great thing is, if you feel like your contour is too dark, you can go over it with the powder, which is called veiling. So I don't want to use too much because I actually want to keep some of the dewiness in the look, but I want it to be powdered enough that it's going to stay there because it's hot at the moment and we want to make sure the look stays put. And then move on to the forehead and just blend it down. I like to pat and do things like that, but you can, and then you go into like that, or you can swirl. I just like to do that because then I pack in the powder. And of course I go down into my neck as well, just to, because you've got product down there that you don't want to smudge. And then perfect. Moving on to brows. As we all know, Frida Kahlo had very iconic brows. They went in here. I mean, I used to have brows like that, but they didn't look as good as that. And to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to groom them. I always do this before I do brows. I always brush them up and then take them to top and round. This is so it keeps them neat because my brows are kind of patchy. So I want it to kind of like look a bit fuller. And plus, grooming your brows is going to give you the best brow look possible. So I'll do that and I brush it up and around like that. Perfect. And I'm going to move in a bit closer so you can see me drawing on the brow. Now I've moved in a bit closer, I'm going to draw my brows using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in medium brown. And I'm going to open it. I did mix it up a bit because it dried out, so it looks a bit of a mess. But it's going to get the best brow look possible. So what I'm going to use, this is using the Spectrum A24 brush. I'm obsessed with their brow brushes. I own quite a few. I think like 5, which is a bit of an obsession. But, right. So I always start my brows on the ends and then blend it forward. Because it's just the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort out my arch. I'm going to, because I want it neat, I'm just going to kind of stamp out where I want the line to go. And done. I don't want my brows too long because they won't fit my face. The key is to always look at your face shape and study your face before you do your makeup, because makeup really can be magic. I'm gonna have to look into my mirror for this one because I don't want to fuck it up. So I'm gonna stamp. This is really like art. You've really got to be precise. And then I'm gonna bring it up here and just bend it forward and fill it in there just so we can get that bit done. And before I go any further forward, I'm going to start doing the bit here. So usually when I do my brows, you measure it against there and that's when it finishes, and you just do that. But because we're doing Frida Kahlo, we're going to go in a bit further, but I'm just going to do the same lines just so it looks a bit more hair-like and realistic. But I'm not going to do them too insane because we want them to look more real than fake. And I'm not going to go too crazy because this is more of an inspired look. I'm not trying to copy her look because we are obviously completely different people, and I'm not going to steal her look. I'm just going to have inspiration from it. And now I've got kind of like the lines I want, I'm going to blend that bit back down to the front where we just drew those lines on, and we're going to slowly start incorporating the two edges together to make one whole cohesive brow. I'm just going to help make sure the brow is straight and realistic looking, because we don't want to mix much out of shape brow. You want a brow that is worked out and looking fab. And any mix-ups you make, we're going to go in with concealer at the end, so don't worry too much if you've made a mistake, just like I just have, as you can probably tell. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake because you can always go back and change it. That's the beauty about makeup. It's not one size fits all, it's cohesive. So that's the one brow nearly done. I'm just going to blend this bit down here and make sure it's all in. Looking fab. I mean, I used to have bushy brows when I was at school, terrible ones, but they weren't as cool back then in the early 2000s. I like to always go like this and just bring it up. I'm just going to give it that natural look. And I'm going to make sure we get that monobrow look. There's one brow done, and I'm going to go in and carve that out. And I'm going to go back in with my Revolution concealer, and I'm going to use the lip brush to carve, because you can use whatever brush you like, really, unless I wouldn't necessarily use a powder brush to carve out brow. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what the brush is used for. If it works for you, it works for you. So take it very lightly. I'm going to really try and be very neat with this, because I want it to match and look fabulous. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my brow bone, and I'm going to just try and flatten out, because I want more of a flatter brow than a high arched, because I feel my face looks better with that kind of brow, but it's really up to how you feel. If you rock a high arch brow, then rock a high arch brow. gonna straighten that out there because I want it to be flat. I really love this concealer. I got the supersized one, which was only £7, and it's one of the best concealers I've ever used in my entire life. But you can get the little one, which is like, I think it's £4 or £5, but it doesn't really matter, that's still freaking cheap. And I believe it's one of the best concealers that I've had. I've had all sorts. I've had high end, low end. The Touche Clay, that's more of a it's not as pigmented, it's a more light one. But out of all the ones I've used, high end, low end, this has been my favourite. And of course I always blend it up because I don't like the harsh line per se. And then I'll just tidy up the edge until we've got a nice looking brown. Of course, blend, and then I will probably go back in with the contour just a tiny bit, but a powdered one this time. And now I've done that brown, I'm going to go off camera and do the other one. And there we go, now the brows are done. They're not completely symmetrical, but as they say about brows, they're meant to be sisters, not twins. I didn't bring it all the way into the middle because I wanted it to have that kind of artistic kind of feel, and I didn't want to look too crazy. Well, I look crazy every day, but and I'm obsessed with them. Now I'm going to move on to the eyeshadow. I don't want to put too much on because I want the brows and the lip to be the focal point and the boldness. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to use this Morphe Artistry palette. It's the 35H Hotspot, and I'm going to open it, and I'm only going to use 2 colours. So I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this warmer one, and all I'm going to do, that one's going to be more my transitional, and that's just going to be on my crease, and I'm going to bring it out like that. I really love doing looks like this because it shows that you only need a handful of brushes to do a full face look, and you can rock it. So you don't have to have all the money in the world to own 200 plus brushes, which to be honest I kind of do, but for those people that can't necessarily afford to get all these makeup brushes, it just shows that you can have a banging look with only 7 brushes. One collection that will last you as long as you keep your brushes clean and you look after them. They last a lifetime. All I'm going to do now to finish off the eye look is add some mascara. This is Lash Domination by Bare Minerals. I love this one. It's brand new. I like to do the little squiggle, that really helps separate them and make them really volumized. Don't want to do too much, so what I'll do is I'll up and out because I want them to have that kind of cat eye kind of resemblance. And then I'm not going to do crazy ones on the bottom, literally just a couple of swipes. And that's it. That is literally it. I'm not going to do lashes because I want this to be as simple as possible for anyone trying this look. You can add lashes if you want. It's really up to you. It's your artistic vision if you want. But for me, I'm just going to leave them off for today. Moving back onto my cheeks, I am going to deepen that contour once again using the Benefit Cosmetics Get the Party Started little palette. It's got the Hoola bronzer, it's got the, I think it's called California, and it's got What's Up, and I usually use these two, and you can tell I've used the Hoola because it's one of my favourites. So I'm going to go back in with that contour brush, and this is just going to deepen it just because I like a nice deep contour. And of course I bring it up here so we don't have that stop of light. And of course I always blend it down like so, just so it blends like this, but not too much because you don't want to have bronzer here, and it helps cancel it out slightly. See that difference? It looks a lot more chiseled and fabulous. And of course blend it down again. And across the forehead. Now if you really study Frida Kahlo, which I have a lot, you'll know that in a lot of her looks she's quite rosy on the cheeks. So what I'm going to do is go back in with my powder brush, which was a CO3, and I'm going to go into that California, and I'm going to add quite a bit of blush because she looked like she liked to blush. I mean, I can't blame her. I'm going to do this so it shows the apples on my cheeks. And I'm just going to blend. I'm going to concentrate it more on the apples, like so. And then I'm going to blend it up because I want it more concentrated here, and then lessen it going up. I like to use quite a bit, but then that's my real life anyway. Oh yes, I like the California. It's quite a universal pink, so I wouldn't say anyone could use Hula because it's more of a lighter brown, but I feel like anyone could use California. But if you've got skin colour like me, this is perfect for you. And I do believe Benefit do have some a lot darker colours, because that's one thing we need to welcome in this damn community, is having more colours, more skin tones. Perfect, and I'm going to add a tiny bit here, just so it looks a bit more natural, and maybe a bit here and a bit here. Fabulous. And onto the lips, and because this look is very red inspired today, I'm going to go in with Bare Minerals Courage, and I'm going to use that same brush I used for carving out my brows, but what I'm going to do before is I'm going to use my spray makeup brush cleaner to clean it, because I don't want a pasty white mixing in with my red. And I'm going to get my mirror so I can get really in and make sure that it's all straight and even. This may take time, but I prefer it to take time so I can spend time really perfecting it, making sure it's even though I really struggle with that. It's always good to spend time, especially when you're doing your lips. Because as this is one of the focal points of the entire look, where I want everyone's eyes to go to as well as the brows, it has to look good, because if that's the thing people are going to look at first, you want to set a good impression for the rest of your face. Down to the bottom. I always do where there's like a natural line here, even if that's not the end of my lips. My lips end up about here. I always do here because it just naturally looks better that way. And of course this is a red look today, but Frida Kahlo did wear a lot of pink, so if you're not really one for wearing red lipstick, you can do pink, just any bold colour, because if you look at her, she's very bold as a person. She's amazing, I love it. What I'm going to do now is, because I want that more intense look, I'm going to actually take the lipstick and fill in the middle. I love the colour that's red. Obsessed. Just because I want to make the look more me, I'm going to add a tiny bit of highlight, not too much. This is the Makeup Revolution Supreme Highlighter in Ice. This is the most blinding highlight you will ever see in your entire life. And it cost me, I think it was like £6. But I'm going to use that same eyeshadow brush. You can read it if you like. That's what I just love about makeup. You can do whatever you feel. I'm only adding a tiny bit. Normally I'd add a ton more, but it's just got that natural. So, oh, yes. Of course, do it the other side. Don't want to do too much because I want it to be more focused on the lips and the brows. I do usually add a tiny bit onto my forehead and then a tiny bit here, just to make it look more wet. And then instead of using brush, I will take my forefinger and just use it to go in and then wait. Yes. And then of course I tend to just do, oh look at that, just the tip and then the bridge slightly, and I'll blend it with my finger because fingers work perfectly fine. Then it gives me that little whoop just at the end of my nose. And then if you feel like you've gone too far, you can always go back in with your contour and just deepen the sides like so. This is more of a natural contour. Well, I say natural with this massive highlighter on my nose, but this helps just keep it cohesive. Because if you add too much highlighter to the sides, it's just going to balloon up my nose, and I don't want to do that. I want to make it look smaller. And that's me finished. And then just to finish it off, I'm going to go with my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and as you can hear, it's nearly gone because I use it a lot. Perfect for the summer because it's a mist, so it really cools down my face. So. And I don't know about you, but I like to tip my head back so when the mist falls, it all goes to my face, because I feel like if I go like this, you're going to have lots of mist that's just going to completely miss your face, and it's a waste of money. And if you know me, you know I like to save. Now that's done, I will use a fan or my hands to dry it, because you don't want those dried on spots in your face. Ruin the look. And there we have it. Here's my Frida Kahlo inspired makeup look. So I need to do my makeup like this more often, apart from the brows maybe. More intense brow. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. This is the first video that I'm actually using my voice in, because I've always had a problem with my voice. I think it sounds horrible on tape, and if you've looked at my previous videos you'll know I don't speak in them at all, and I get asked all the time by people, when are you going to start talking in your videos, like friends, family, and I've always said never, because I hate my voice. But I feel like in life you've just got to not care about what people think and just do what you want to do, because if this is going to make me better, then I'm going to do it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got plenty of videos on my channel, and if you want to see a certain video, if you like a certain look you want me to create, then comment down below and I'll probably do it. And thank you for watching my video. I really hope you like, comment and subscribe. I know it's a bit different hearing my voice, and I hope you like it. If you didn't, please don't tell me. But if you have any comments, if you have any feedback, I know I'm very new to videos, so I need help. If you're pro and you know, just tell me down below what I could do better. I know the audio isn't going to be great because I'm just doing this on a camera I have at home, but I love makeup so much that I just wanted to do it.